everybody. It's Sophie from Hotspawn, and we are back once again with Dan. And today we are going to be talking about some red hot Counter-Strike action at the IEM Dallas finals. How are you doing today, Dan?
I'm good, thank you. I'm happy to be here again. And yeah, there's quite a little bit to talk about. Um, Obviously, Vitality have won again.
I feel
It's
like we're just
becoming,
making the same podcast episode over and over and
yeah,
over.
yeah. Like, it is so predictable.
Yep.
Vitality, they won this one 3-0. I think the last
And it
time
wasn't even
they.
close.
No. Like, the maps, Mao's got 11, 9, and 8 rounds, which seems close on paper, but like when you actually watch the games, the flow was always sort of going towards that conclusion of Vitality taking the maps.
Yep.
That's how it
Yep.
felt, at least. Obviously, it can all happen differently. Um, but yeah, to be honest, this was what everyone saw coming, from the
I mean,
start.
what did we say would happen? Exactly what just happened. Like, I've
Yeah.
got to say, I was slightly surprised by Torji in this one. I was expecting a better performance from him. Not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, he dropped a 0.86 rating. It's not good. Like,
Yeah,
I think, but before the match, I want to say he was the second highest rated player at the tournament. He had
I
like a
think so.
1.43 or something. That dropped to like a 1.25 by the end of the final. So, to be honest, I don't think this is sort of feeding into that not Vitality, Miles stage chokers narrative, which I think is
No.
still prevalent, even though they have sort of improved in that aspect undeniably. This is just a case of like them losing to such a better team. But when you saw
Exactly
the
it.
when you saw the matchups, like yeah, this was always going to happen. The last time these two faced in a final, it was Blast Open Lisbon. They
Mm-hmm.
lost that one 3-2, so they did
Mm-hmm.
pull it pretty close. They took a 2-1 lead in that one, and before that, it was the SL Pro League season 21, I believe. They lost that one
Mm-hmm.
3-0. So they were sort of on the up and up, but this just feels like such a big step back to not even take one map. Like,
Yeah, it really does. And I think I can understand where people are coming from with this stage chokers narrative, but it's also like, show me a team that wouldn't do that against this Vitality lineup right now.
that's it. Like they're just beating everyone. Like
Yeah.
Falcons doesn't matter if they're there. Doesn't matter. Like there's just no one on that level. Like you could have put Mongols there. Like obviously they were in the semi-finals against Miles.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't have been close if we'd have seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I did want to see like a Falcons Vitality final because I just felt like that one had the most chance
Yeah.
of just finally seeing a new winner. But we
Mm-hmm.
obviously it sort of depends what you're looking for from competitive Counter Strike. Really, like I do prefer a more competitive scene with varied
Yeah.
winners. What we're obviously seeing at the moment is just pure dominance, like 6 trophies in a row now. Like a run spanning back to IEM Katowice. Like they've won
Yeah.
everything. Everything they've been involved in, they've won. Like
Exactly. Like, I
and
guess it would be nice, a nice cherry on the top to take home the major, but after that, it's like, right, boys, it's time to take a step back. You know what I'm saying? Give someone else a try.
yeah. Well, like there will be people who think that, you know, none of this matters if you don't win the major. Like I
Yeah.
heard Yanko say that after the win, like this will all be forgotten if like they just fall at the final hurdle, which is pretty crazy to think about because it just means that they have to win 7 tournaments in a row.
Yeah.
Like
And I remember
otherwise,
we were having a conversation about whether they'd peak too soon, and that was in February, March
oh
that we were
man,
saying that.
what
And
was
now,
what did I say? I think it was on like the first episode we did. Maybe it was the second where I was like, my hot take is that Vitality will not win the major, and like unless something really drastic happens in the next 3 weeks, like
mhm.
it's becoming sort of an untenable position to defend. But
Yeah, I
but
mean, I would really love an underdog to come out of nowhere, but I just don't see it happening because
no,
they're just the synergy that you see between this team isn't something that comes around that often.
No, no, they've
And I just
just
think
gone
that's
up.
really impressive to maintain at this level.
Like there was one clip yesterday where I watched Apex run onto Inferno's B bomb site and just kill 3 Mouse players by himself at the big age of how old is he? 32.
I think
Yeah,
so,
like
yeah.
Unk has still got it, but like it was just like this is over. Let's just put a
Yeah.
fork in
I
this
mean,
because
you
it's
shouldn't be
done.
doing that even if you're, 17 and at the height of your response times. You
It
still
was
shouldn't
just
be able to do that, so
it was just silly, man. I when I recapped it in my article for Hotspawn, I put
Mhm.
that in there. I was like, man, just look at this. This is just like this is the kind of team you're dealing with at the minute. And to be honest, the most impressive thing is that they did it with Flames going negative, and he's
Yeah.
been like such a key player for them.
Mhm.
But it didn't have his best final, and it's not the end of the world because that's sort of the composition of this team, really. In that, one person has a day that's not so great, doesn't matter because there are 3 other people that will step up in your stead.
Yeah,
And when
which
you've
is, I
got,
guess,
I'm sorry,
perhaps the difference maker, because if Nico has a bad day, if Donk has a bad day, there's no one who can rally around them.
yeah, I mean, when you look at Falcons, you've got Monacy, but again, like it is largely him.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, when you've got Zayu going 59 and 35, I believe,
Yeah, I
like
think
that's
so.
insane. Nearly 100 ADR over 3 maps, like that is essentially a killer round.
Yeah.
like, like
And to sustain it in a grand finals on
yeah,
LAN, like, come
yeah.
on.
There's just no one even like
Mm-mm.
close at the minute. Like it is a absolute joke.
Yep,
I
yep.
Obviously they only met Falcons in the semi-final because Falcons lost to Mars, I believe, in
Yes, I
the
think
placement match.
so. Mhm.
That was surprising, to be honest. But it does go to show that Falcons are very much in that bracket with Mars, not with Vitality at the
Mhm.
moment.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
yeah, and that sort of shows why maybe Vitality will now probably win the major because it would take them essentially screwing the pooch to not win the major. Like,
Yeah, I mean, at this point, no one that we're aware of is going to hold the candle to him, so it'd have to be like legacy coming from nowhere. Like,
yeah, no, I'm not sure Legacy quite have the stuff, but
perhaps
yeah,
not, perhaps not. But
no, but yeah, no, it would be interesting to see a different major winner, but yeah, again. It just feels like no one's going to have the time to dedicate to playing catch up because this sort of thing does take
Mhm.
time. You've got to have your coaches, your analysts sort of look at what Vitality are doing, not just
Yeah.
actually figure out what they're doing. The sort of I saw Ash, the Gamer Legion coach, tweet out
Mhm.
yesterday that like these guys are like defining the meta on every map. Like
Yeah.
to catch up to that, you need all of your top guys on the case, sort of thing. Like, and you need to not just figure out what they're doing, but how you beat that, how you counter that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not been done in 4 months. I see no reason it's going to be done in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
No,
let's say, for
certainly
the
not.
major.
Like, we did see that interview that Alexi B did where he was saying that they're going to be boot camping basically from now till the major. And it's like, I mean,
Yeah,
you basically have to, but I still don't know what you're going to do in this time, you know?
yeah. They weren't at Dallas, I believe. I think their last
Yeah, no, they
were
weren't.
they at Bucharest?
Yes.
Yes, I lose track with the amount of bloody tournaments
Yeah,
there
because I
are
don't think
now.
they were at Astana.
Oh
I
no,
think
it
it
was
was
Astana. Astana,
was it
yes, that
Astana?
was
Oh,
it.
right,
Yeah,
okay,
I
yeah.
couldn't remember what the last PGL event was. I thought it was Bucharest. Yeah, Astana. They were at PGL Astana. Messed that up royally. They're in trouble. They'll be making changes in a few weeks, which is going to be strange to see because they've been. You get teams nowadays in the scene that are together for quite long.
Yeah, definitely. Which
So
I kind of
Navi,
like. I think I like that better than just constantly switching.
yeah, Navi one of them. They've been together largely best part of 2 years now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but yeah, IEM Dallas. I just wish we got a little bit more change at the top, but that
Yeah.
is sort of the makeup of the scene at the moment, and I think yes, but I think it won't probably won't be till the second half of next year unless someone really cooks in the off season. I'm
Yeah,
sure we'll
that's it.
do a full sort of transfer rumor episode at some point of this
Yep, I
because
think so.
there will
Definitely
be
after the major.
plenty. Yeah, after the major, there's going to be chops and changes everywhere, and
Mhm.
realistically, those teams in that sort of top 10 range, they're only gunning for one team. So it will be interesting to see how they
Fudge.
sort of handle that sort of, that sort of pressure. Because again, I saw someone make the point yesterday. We're talking about this team like it's one of the best Counter Strike teams of all time. No, that's sort of the level that they're at,
Mhm.
and I would agree with that sentiment.
Oh, yeah.
But but obviously they've not even won one major together, and Prime Astralis won three back to back. They won four
Uh,
total, but they won three back to back over the course of a year and a half. Like, people were gunning for them, but they found the consistency and they found a way to do it every time. So
that's
that's sort
it.
of like the litmus test for how good this team's real legacy can be. Obviously, they'll always have the stat. I think it's like a 30 winning run in a row now. It's the
Yeah.
second longest ever. It's the longest composed of only best of threes and fives, which is
Okay. How
it's like
far are they off the record?
they're halfway there, I believe.
Hmm.
On LAN.
A way to go
So
then.
on LAN, Nip got 60, and
Okay.
including online matches, Nip got 87. So
Good
there's still
lord. Okay.
87. But you do have to bear in mind this was a team that sort of were the first to jump over to CS:GO when other people didn't want to move. So you
Yep.
were essentially playing against like literal plumbers, like in their spare time, like
Yep,
playing Counter
yep,
Strike in their spare
okay, I
time.
see it.
So like, there's always that question mark for me. Like, this is the most impressive run any Counter Strike team's ever been on.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what you thought how this compared to Astralis and like their era, because I feel like probably at the start of Vitality's era now, and maybe they're
Yeah,
not quite like the bad guys of Counter-Strike yet because they've won too much and everyone's just wants to see them lose yet. But I
yeah,
think we're gonna get there before a
for
second
sure,
ESL Grand Slam.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, they had that idea as well. It's crazy the fact that they are still on track for to maybe do that. I think it's Chengdu
Hmm.
where they can actually win it if they
Yep.
win Cologne Pro League and Chengdu. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, for me, great team, but it doesn't in legacy wise, it doesn't compare yet.
Yep, yep.
Does not compare yet. Hopefully, you know, hopefully it does.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think as we were saying before, like I think as a fan of Counter Strike, I tend to just root for people that I like as opposed to teams.
Yeah.
And I like the guys on Vitality. Like Zywoo was really lovely. Like I don't think I'll ever forget the time that I was just sprinting through a hotel in Lisbon looking for the media day and Mezzi pointed me in the right direction. Like I just
Very nice.
like him because of that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'll always support, sort of English greatness in Counter Strike.
We
That is
don't get
really
much of
nice.
it. In esports,
No.
stop. You know, we got like Fortnite, some Valorant, that's it. So
Yeah, no, we don't get many great British players, so
Mhm.
it's nice to see. But yeah, I mean, I love Apex. Like, I think he's such a great leader, such a great story
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
turn in game leader at such a late age. Sort of like fail at it as well for a little bit and,
Mhm.
and make it work.
Yep.
And he's essentially added, so many years onto his career and so many trophies onto his legacy, which
Yeah.
I
It
think,
shows a real resilience that I think a lot of,
yeah,
especially esports players just don't tend to have. Like you can hit
yeah.
that peak and then they almost always just go straight down afterwards. But he's really stuck around and you
Y-
have to respect it.
yeah, definitely. And I like that he's never sort of backed down from the shit talking because everyone
Yeah.
knows like it's not that deep. Like,
No, it's all in
but
good fun.
well, you would think But like some Twitch chatters like just never got the memo and like really think he's like this, super toxic guy, which I feel quite
Oh,
bad for because like it's so obviously not in bad
yeah,
faith.
yeah. I mean, the
Um,
things he says, they're just,
it's so
I don't
funny.
know, you'd probably see it on like Monty Python or something, like some of it.
Yeah, yeah, like the references to like Jimmy watching Twitter porn,
Yeah,
like screaming at it across the desk, like that's like a lifetime ban in Valorant. Like,
yeah, oh, definitely, yeah.
no, like, yeah, whatever you think of him,
Hmm.
man, he just makes it more interesting, and like in esports, that is just what it needs.
Yeah,
It needs
yeah.
people to just make it more interesting to people that aren't necessarily the target audience.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
whatever.
exactly it. Because I think
y-
with a lot of the top esports players, they are just dudes who are into gaming. And that is often
Yeah.
not conducive with having charisma or a personality. With the very best will in the world, and speaking as someone who also is like that. So having people like Apex
No,
who
it's so
they're
good for the scene.
consistently good on camera, like
Yeah,
that's really important to the health of the scene, I think.
yeah, we'll miss him when he's gone. As much
Yeah.
as some people don't like to admit it, it will just be a worse scene when he's not there anymore.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, absolutely. But it's an interesting one. We'll have to see how the major goes, but I don't know, we'll maybe have to ask them about it in Cologne when we go there.
Oh man, I'm excited.
Yeah. Is this your first ever IRL Counter-Strike event?
Yes, that's gonna be crazy. Yeah,
Exciting.
it's weird, isn't it? Like I've been in the job for a long time, and I've
Yep,
been waiting
yep,
for the chance. So hopefully we'll be able to
absolutely.
get some, good interviews and stuff. That'll be really good.
That's it. I mean, IEM Media Days are the best press experience I've ever had at events.
Oh,
Like they
good.
are banging. They're so
Yeah,
so good. You just get all your content ready. You can set a schedule. Easy. Love it. Love it.
lovely.
Um, yeah, I think we'll have a really good time. Cologne's going to be good. And I wonder, just to segue us into that, if we're going to be seeing Cash in the active duty by the time Cologne comes around.
No, probably not. But they have obviously Valve have bought it. Um,
Yes.
I know you said you missed it initially, but basically after the update, which we will get to soon enough, it was pretty
Hmm.
much immediately data mined that Cache is like in that group of competitive maps that either have been in or are in active duty.
Hmm.
And then once that came out, the floodgates sort of opened. FM Poem basically admitted it on Twitter.
Yep.
Counter Strike did the little handshaking emoji to tweets about it.
Hmm.
Valve have bought Cache. Like I don't know the figure. I would have to imagine it's high six figures because
I
they
would
bought
imagine so,
Anubis.
right?
They bought
Yeah.
Anubis along like 3-4 years ago,
Mm.
and that was a good six-figure fee. And for Cache, there's obviously FM Pone, but there's another guy. I can't remember his name. It escapes me at the moment, but he now works as a level designer on Valorant. Funnily enough,
Oh.
so that was sort of the reason why a lot of people were thinking, it's not going to get done because this guy works on Valorant. But in recent weeks, it sort of has been like leaning that way in
Yep.
terms
Yep.
of it looked like the creator of Cash knew that it was getting sold because he's been
Hmm.
creating skins like sort of related to Cash. And when new maps come in, they often do like, oh, this is the Cash collection, this is the
Yep.
Overpass collection. So it was pretty clear that something was cooking behind the scenes. According to FM Pone, they approached him day one, like when Cash released. Like, yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good for him because like he's had ownership of this map for such a long time, and he's finally been
Yeah.
able to cash in big time on it.
Nice.
Yeah, that was terrible, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm excited though. I think we actually won't see it for a long time.
Mm.
Valve with these sort of things, they obviously want to make sure it was optimized. That was a big
Yep.
criticism of FM Pone's version of Cash.
It was very T-sided, wasn't it?
To be honest, I can't remember.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
would
seem to
be,
remember, but it was a long time ago.
yeah, I would be totally lying if I said I could remember the
Okay, yeah.
sidedness of it. But yeah, Valve will optimize it. Valve will make any little changes that they disagree with because they own the map now.
That's
I think, to be honest, I don't think they'll test it. I
okay.
think they'll, because a lot of the times they do put them into competitive first
Mhm.
and sort of let players ring out the issues. I personally think they'll put it straight in once they think they're happy with it, same as they
Yep.
did with Train. Throw it in, see how it works.
I mean, that's the best way. Small indie company Valve could never have a game tester.
No, no. To be honest, they have, despite the money it makes for them, they have just other priorities than Counter Strike.
I
Um,
mean, as a Dota fan, I feel that pain.
yeah. Oh, to be fair, I think everyone that sort of exists under their like favorite Valve game banner, we all think we're the neglected child, and maybe Valve just isn't a very good parent after all. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we should
yeah,
band together,
yeah.
trauma bond.
So
You guys don't
personally,
get operations, we don't get battle passes, like
yeah, yeah. Team Fortress don't get anything, but that's been
oh,
a long
no,
time.
forgot it existed.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So definitely not after this major. I would say. I would
Yep.
be shocked after the next major if that's how they're going to do it now. If they're going to change it with every Premier season, if they're going to make a change to the map pool, that would be
Mhm.
cool because it would keep things fresh every 6 months. You know, I think
Yep.
we went nearly 2 years without a map pool change at one point, like fairly recently.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would hope to see it after Christmas. Again, don't think it'll happen. I think we're looking at closer to a year.
Okay,
But
yeah.
the good news is that cash is coming, and you look at some of the most iconic Counter Strike clips of all time. Like it's cash.
Yep.
Like I
Yeah,
think it
yeah.
was like the simple falling orb.
Mhm.
You've got two Nico Deagle aces.
Yep.
You have like JDM's highlight against, I think it was G2 a long time ago. Like there's just so many
Mhm.
clips.
That's it. So
It,
if
it
sorry, go on.
no, sorry.
I was just gonna ask if Cash was gonna come into active duty, what would you want it to replace?
Well, the map I would never want it to. I would want it to replace. Will never happen. I want to see Mirage. Like
I
just
was
take out
gonna
Rain.
say Mirage. Yes.
Like it's been since it released in CS:GO. It has been in active duty the entire time.
Yep.
Like
Yep. Just kind of
not a
sick of the
single
sight
game.
of it now.
Yeah, and they will just never take it out because it's so popular.
Yep.
Like, and I mean to casual players, it's so popular. Like
Yep.
you couldn't take it out and sort of reasonably expect the player count to remain as high. Like that's how important that map is.
Yeah.
And even if you wanted to take it out to make some changes, like there would be like riots if you tried to make changes to Mirage.
They'd be climbing the fences at Valve.
They would be climbing over the fences at Valve. Like it would be insane.
Yep.
And so I would love to see it replace Mirage. It won't. Personally, I do think that they will take out Inferno at some point.
Okay.
A lot
Yeah.
of people just don't like it at the top level. Like
Mhm.
I am nowhere near their level of play, so I don't sort of get the micro in the way that they
Mhm.
do.
Yep.
But those who do say, yeah, this is a fucking nightmare. Like, and every time Valve try to fix it, like, it just doesn't do that much. Like at
Oh,
one point they
okay.
removed the archers,
Yep.
which sort of made the map feel very small. Didn't really do much. Then I think they've widened Banana twice. Hasn't made a difference.
Really?
Yeah, but they keep
That
doing it in
okay.
like increments, and like,
Yeah.
and it's like for like 10 minutes, everyone's like, "Wow, this feels great," and then it just doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think Inferno, I do think that again, it's one that's been in the map pool, not forever,
Yeah.
but it has had its time out, but it's sort of due a stint now,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just because so I I don't play Counter-Strike because I just can't stand solo queuing and everyone I know plays Dota. But
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
wa- so I just watch it and I've just seen Inferno. It must be 1,000 times now.
Yeah,
Like if someone told me that I'd watched 1,000 pro matches on Inferno, I'd be like, yeah, that checks out. And
yeah,
I'm just kind of bored, you know? It's the same
yeah,
with Vertigo. Like I never had the player problems with Vertigo, but I was just bored of it.
yeah, yeah. Well, Inferno is especially boring in that both bomb sites. It's got the same problem that it's always had though. Like both bomb sites are at this level near impossible to retake because the
Yep, yep.
players, the bomb sites, in say an even retake, they've just been solved.
Right, yeah.
Like in terms of what you need to do to hold that bomb site. So
Hmm.
teams just save. They just save, and it
Which
happens
is
over and over
objectively
again.
boring to watch.
And if there is 10 saves in a game that last 40 seconds, like
Yeah.
it is boring. It's a boring map, and it was worse in CS:GO when you had more rounds
Yeah.
and people were still saving, even though it was a different version of the map. But I would still love to see that Valve just take another stab at it. You know, no one is
Yeah.
sort of calling for Inferno to disappear forever because it's a great map, or it can be a
Mm.
great map, and it has been in the past. So just sort of go back to the drawing board with it and try again.
Yeah.
Do
I mean,
yeah,
that would be the ideal. Just, start from the ground up, see where we
yeah,
land. Let's try it.
yeah. So the map pool subject is something that's going to be quite interesting to keep an eye on.
It certainly is, but I guess my brain is like segue into major stickers now. So, but I'm like cosmetics on a
This is
map.
the
Then
segue.
change the cosmetics. Now we're gonna change cosmetics because of media, because of major pickups.
No, it's
But
fine.
that's it.
We
I
all
mean,
know what you're talking about. We all know.
the
Yeah.
thing that I know that this isn't the first time that Valve has done Warhammer stuff. But that just seemed really out of left field for me right now. It was like, yeah, here's your major stickers. We've also got some Warhammer decals. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it, but that was weird.
Yeah. Well, obviously the thing is they've done a lot of collaborations in Counter Strike in the past. Like I don't even know how much like you've seen over the years, but there's like a set of Halo stickers. There's a Halo music
Yeah.
kit. Like there's sort of plenty of evidence to suggest that this isn't like it's not against Valve's MO, you know, they do this sort of thing every now and then. To be honest, they're all paper stickers, the Warhammer ones, so they're not very interesting.
Mm,
There's no hollows, no foils, so yeah,
yeah.
that's sort of a set that, you know, you'll see in plenty of like interesting sticker crafts once people figure out what you can sort of do with the shapes and stuff, but like beyond that, there's not much
Yeah.
sort of use for them. But the
I
major
mean, the
stickers, yeah.
stickers are way better than the Warhammer ones. Like, I actually really like the stickers that they've released for the major.
Oh yeah, I love them. I love that it's a change.
Mm,
So there hasn't been bordered stickers since the 2020 RMR capsule.
yeah.
So like think of that like we've had borderless stickers at every major since the pandemic started, which is like
Oh my god, that
insane.
was like 5 years ago.
Like when you contextualize it like that, it's like
Yeah.
so we've had the same thing over and over again. And like
Hmm.
I get that, you know, the sort of belt buckle Austin style isn't gonna be everyone's cup of tea. But
Hmm.
I'm just glad to see that they've actually changed it, like for once.
Yeah.
And yeah, breath of fresh air for me. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see, you know, like new stickers in the game, like Falcons, um, M80, a couple of other teams. We get the classic classic complexity logo as well.
Yep.
That's a
Yep.
throwback. So there's going to be some cool sticker crafts once people can actually sort of get their hands on them and see what we can really do with them.
Yeah.
I've got some planned. Um,
Ooh.
Yeah, foils are back as well. That was a big surprise to me. I thought that they were just really done and dusted with foils.
Oh.
They've
Which is
so
good because
they've
the foils are the ones that, like, I don't know, they're just kind of sexy to look at. Like, they're the nicest ones.
yeah, yeah, definitely. You know, people. just weren't using the glitters, I think was the problem.
Mm,
They actually did a really cool thing with the papers this year.
yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen videos of it, but basically if you scratch them to sort of just the logo,
Mhm.
the highlight of the team logo glows in the dark. So like when you go like
Oh,
down to nuke vents and stuff, like it
yeah.
completely glows. So it sort of gives utility to paper stickers, and no one's used them for years. Like it's really cool, and
Yeah.
for the people that for some godforsaken reason needed another set of borderless stickers, all the foils and hollows, the way they scratch down to the team logos perfectly, so they
Oh,
can just
cool.
become borderless. Like Valve have
Yeah.
like really cooked, which they don't do too often in CS.
I was gonna say, can we just get like the title is of this episode? Dan Morris, Valve have really cooked.
No, they've done well, and yeah, there was some complaining that like, yeah, these stickers are the worst they've ever released. No, they're not. Like
They're not.
they've at least tried to do something, and even the fact that the style of the paper, the hollow, and the foils and the golds are all different.
Mhm.
Like that, they've obviously put some effort into this one. So as much as the community likes to sort of shit on Valve at every turn, like yeah, they've done well. So you have to give them the credit where you
That's
can.
it. I mean, I think there's people out there where like if Valve breathed in, people would tell them they should have breathed out.
Yeah.
Like they can't win with some people.
Well, they released like another update literally the day before, where
Mm.
it was some guy on Reddit had basically solved exactly why the spray doesn't feel exactly like spraying your weapon doesn't feel exactly the same as CS:GO.
Oh really? I
Some
didn't
guy on
see that.
Reddit figured out the math and was like, "This is exactly what is going wrong," and Valve just
Mm.
fixed it based on some guy's really rigorous Reddit testing.
I'm kind of into that.
Like,
I think that's really good.
and they were like, and everyone played the game and they were like, "Wow, yeah, no, they've fixed it. Like, it feels
Yeah, yeah.
great." Like, so they've really been on a roll recently. So
Yeah,
yeah,
asked a question, got an answer. GG Valve,
yeah,
like
yeah,
good.
um,
Well, hopefully they'll keep cooking for us.
yeah. I mean, they again with the stickers they came out with the pickums.
Mhm.
Again, I'm praying I get a diamond coin this time because the last time I
Yep.
wrote something about pickums, man, I got dogs abuse when I only got gold.
I
So,
think that's the first time we did that article. You were like right on the money
but
and you
I
got a
fell.
reputation and then
I
it just
fell
fell
at like the
off.
final hurdle. Like I think for the first major, I predicted Spirit to win the major. That was it. Navi won. That
Yeah,
was it.
Navi won
And
Copenhagen.
only like prime Navi Glazers ended up with diamond coins because like at the time, why on earth would you predict Navi to win the major at the
Yeah.
time? Like so yeah, I'm hoping this one goes a little bit better. I
Mhm.
can't quite remember exactly who I've picked. I know who I've picked for 3-0. I've gone complexity and I've gone heroic, which heroic I'm confident in. Complexity,
Yeah.
I wanted to sort of get get the Pickham's article out, and I failed
Yeah.
to remember that complexity might be without Halser. They might have to be playing with Junior at the major.
Oh
And
no.
because sort of I've got my article out there now, I've made my picks to the people. And if anyone's following, I can change my Pickham's, but like I can't. Like because I've committed to it now. I've committed to it
Yep.
in writing. So like they're my
You've
Pickham's,
committed to it in
and
writing in one of the best
I
performing articles on Hotspot.
yeah, I have to ride that one out and really hope that Holzer gets a visa in time. If Holzer's there,
Yeah, you've
I'm
got more
confident.
riding on this than most, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't want Counter Strike fans to fucking flame me on Twitter. Like,
Twitter, Reddit,
uh,
whenever you just like drop
yeah,
that bomb on Reddit, you just gotta, I'm out. You say
run
whatever you
away.
want. Like,
Oh man, that's my worst habit. Yeah.
Just throw the grenade and run. Like, I don't want to hear what you've got to say.
Yeah, yeah. You can follow my pick'ems if you want at
Yeah.
your own peril. I am double gold coin now on the last two majors, so I've done okay. At
Wait,
least
nothing.
I've not fallen to silver,
Mm-hmm.
but gotta go for diamond. I've never had a diamond coin. Maybe I shouldn't say that on the podcast, promoting the pick'ems article, but I have never had a diamond coin. So
Well, now you're just locking it in because now
yeah,
if you get flamed on Twitter, you can be like, "Hey, I said it. I said I've
yeah,
never had diamonds, so this is on you guys."
yeah. At your own peril. You should have watched Hot Takes, and then maybe
Exactly. You
your
should watch
pick'ems
every
would have gone
episode
better.
right to the last minute, and that's
Yeah,
when we're gonna drop this kind of information.
yeah. Uh,
Outstanding. Well, I think on that bombshell, I think we're about ready to lock ourselves in for this major. So we're going to be back next week with the full major preview.
oh, it's gonna be
But
big.
yeah, really looking forward to that. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Let us know what you think of Dan's pickums in the comments, and we'll see you guys next week.